The sun had barely risen over the gleaming glass tower of Hamilton International Corp., one of the most powerful conglomerates in New York. Inside, people rushed about in crisp suits, holding coffee cups and laptops, preparing for the day's biggest event, a multinational partnership meeting with Japanese investors worth millions of dollars. At the bottom floor, however, in the janitorial section, Henry Williams, a quiet, middle-aged black man, buttoned up his worn blue uniform. His back ached from years of scrubbing floors, yet he smiled faintly when his daughter Ava walked in carrying a notebook and a steaming mug of coffee. "Morning, Dad," she said softly. Henry's tired eyes brightened. "Morning, sweetheart. You up early again?" Ava grinned. "Had to drop by before heading to the library." "I'm studying Japanese today. I've got my language exam next week." Henry chuckled. "You and that Japanese. I still don't know why you picked it." "Because one day," she said proudly, "I'm going to be more than just a translator. I'm going to work with international companies, help people connect like a bridge." Henry's eyes glistened. "That's my girl." He didn't tell her that part of his overtime was to save for her tuition. He didn't want her to worry that sometimes he skipped lunch just to make ends meet. Upstairs, Mr. Richard Hamilton, the CEO, was pacing nervously. His assistant had just delivered terrible news. Their translator had fallen ill and couldn't make it to the critical meeting with the Japanese delegation arriving in less than 2 hours. "What do you mean she's not coming?" Hamilton snapped. "This deal is worth $12 million. We tried calling replacements," the assistant stammered, "but no one's available on such short notice. It's impossible." Hamilton slammed his fist on the desk. "I can't afford to lose this deal. The investors fly back tonight." Just then, the janitorial crew passed by the conference hall, mopping quietly. Among them was Henry. He overheard part of the chaos and hesitated. He didn't mean to eavesdrop, but when the assistant said, "We need someone who speaks Japanese," Henry's heart skipped. His mind went immediately to Ava. He took a deep breath and stepped closer to the assistant. "Excuse me, sir, I might know someone who can help." The assistant frowned. Do you know Japanese?" "No, sir," Henry said, a bit nervously. "But my daughter does. She's been studying it for years." The assistant gave him a skeptical look, but desperation made him pause. "Can she come now?" "I can call her right away." Within minutes, Henry had called Ava, who was studying at the library. When he told her what was happening, she didn't hesitate. "Dad, I'll be there in 10 minutes. Ava had arrived slightly out of breath, clutching her worn Japanese grammar book. The receptionists and staff stared at a young black woman in a modest outfit standing among a sea of Armani suits. Hamilton's assistant led her to the CEO's office. "Mr. Hamilton, this is Henry's daughter. She says she can translate." Hamilton raised an eyebrow. "You telling me the janitor's daughter is going to handle a multi-million-dollar international negotiation?" Ava swallowed hard, but met his gaze. "Sir, I may not look like much, but I've studied the language and culture extensively. If you'll give me a chance, I'll prove I can help." Hamilton looked at her, torn between disbelief and desperation. The investors were already pulling up in their sleek black cars outside. He sighed. "Fine. You'll translate, but if this goes wrong, it's on me." Ava nodded. "I won't let you down." The meeting began in the grand boardroom overlooking Manhattan. The Japanese delegation entered, 5 impeccably dressed executives, led by Mr. Tanaka, a stoic man with sharp eyes. Hamilton greeted them nervously, unsure what to say. "Beyond Konnichiwa." Ava stepped forward, bowing respectfully and greeting them in flawless Japanese. "Ohayo gozaimasu. Yokoso Hamilton International." "Good morning. Welcome to Hamilton International." The Japanese executives looked pleasantly surprised. Mr. Tanaka smiled for the first time. The room warmed immediately. Ava translated every word with grace, switching effortlessly between languages. She not only translated words, she translated intentions, emotions, and respect. As the discussion deepened, The Japanese team brought up concerns about ethical sourcing and fair labor practices. Hamilton froze. He didn't know how to respond tactfully. Ava paused and looked at her father through the glass wall, still cleaning quietly in the hallway. She remembered his hands, rough and tired from years of honest work. Then she spoke. In my country, she translated for Hamilton. We value integrity above all. My father always told me that truest success is one earned with clean hands. The Japanese team nodded approvingly. Mr. Tanaka said something to Ava, who smiled. He says your company's values remind him of his father's teachings. He's impressed. Hamilton blinked in disbelief. This janitor's daughter was saving his entire deal. Hours passed, the meeting filled with laughter, shared stories, and new ideas. At the end, Mr. Tanaka stood and extended his hand to Hamilton. In honor of today's understanding, Ava translated, "We are ready to sign the partnership." The room erupted in applause. Hamilton couldn't believe it. They had secured a $12 million deal, all because of this young woman. After the investors left, Hamilton turned to Ava Miss Williams. "I owe you an apology. I underestimated you because of where you came from. You didn't just translate words today. You built a bridge between worlds." Ava smiled humbly. "Thank you, sir. I'm just happy I could help." Henry entered quietly, holding his mop, unsure if he should interrupt. But when Hamilton saw him, he walked over and shook his hand firmly. "Henry," Hamilton said, "you raised an extraordinary daughter. Starting today, she's not just your daughter. She's part of our executive communications team. Full-time. With benefits." Henry's eyes filled with tears. He looked at Ava, his voice breaking. "You did it, baby. You did it." Ava ran into her father's arms. "No, Dad, we did it." That evening, as the sun dipped below the skyscrapers, Ava and Henry walked home together. The city lights shimmered in the puddles on the pavement. "Dad," Ava said softly, "remember when you used to tell me no dream is too big for a small person?" Henry chuckled, wiping his eyes. "Yeah, I remember." "Well," she said, "you were right." They walked on in silence for a moment. Then Ava looked up at the glowing skyline. "One day, Dad, I'll have an office up there, but I'll never forget where I came from, or who cleaned the floors that got me there." Henry put an arm around her shoulders. "And I'll never stop being proud of you, Ava." As they disappeared into the night, the reflection of the city lights danced on the wet streets, a quiet symbol of dreams that rise from the ground up.